let's talk about the most important thing which almost everyone cares about, salaries. Show me the money. You know, all the movies like Wolves of Wall Street or any other movie, it's the money, Wall Street. This is what is generally the reason of many of people to come into data science. Let me not disappoint you immediately. Let me just say that salaries on an average in the field of data science are much higher than compared to other fields salaries. Now let me, after not disappointing you, let me disappoint you now. So if you follow the trend which I was talking about here, when you are in early adopter, what happens? There is a lot of demand, but there is not much supply. This is what happens in the early adopter phase. There is a demand, but not much supply. Now, when you go higher, when you go from early majority to late majority, number of people in the field is growing high. Correct? So demand is still high. Trust me, demand is not going to go away. It's the supply which is increasing. You see, the delta between demand and supply decides salary. And there are other factors as well. So there is one important factor of salary, which is location. So location is an important factor, and there is one more important factor, which is skill. So your skill, let me just call this percentile. So what is a percentile? So let's say I am a 90 percentile. Let's just say that. It means in my field, I am better than 90% people. I am in top 10%. If I am 99 percentile, then I am in top 1% in my field. You see, to get hired into a good company, the threshold I was talking about here, that generally is kind of like similar to this percentile thing. You have to be in the top percentile. Now, you see, you either have to be more skilled to get the same salary, same high salary as one you read in news, but eventually the salaries in the field of AI is going to normalize. You see, what happens is at any time in wherever we are in future as well, there is always going to be a technology which is new. Take a look at this hype cycle. All these technologies, so until from innovation trigger to here, salaries are high. Here there is a sudden drop in salaries, and from here all technologies which are on this slope, they generally have similar salary range. So while beginning, I have heard many students say that they want to get into data science because they are passionate about it. But the reality is they want to, many people want to get into data science because there is high salary. But if you start with this wrong expectation that your salary in the beginning is high and it is going to keep climbing much higher, and I want to be a millionaire or a billionaire by the time I end my career, that expectation is wrong. Salaries will normalize, but what will not normalize is impact of the job you are doing. You see, all the technologies, when they reach plateau of productivity, AI actually has a lot more potential to impact our lives, because AI can actually solve the problems which were unsolvable before. You see, there are two ways of doing problem solving: one artificial intelligence, one is traditional programming. Traditional programming was the entire field of IT. All Fortune 500 companies now, most of them are IT companies. And what traditional IT could not do, AI is able to do it. So even though salaries will normalize, actually they won't be as same as, let's say, other things. It will still be higher than the rest, but it won't be, the difference between rest and AI won't be as high as it is now. So when I was talking about impact, the job will still stay impactful. And one final point which I want to make is, before few centuries, around 300-400 centuries back, In times of kings and queens. There was a time where kings used to wear a crown of aluminium. There was a time where aluminium was more expensive than platinum, gold, silver, all of them. It was more expensive not because it was useful, it was more expensive because it was rare. They didn't find aluminium, and that's why its price was high. Whereas if we take a look at gold or platinum or silver, they are not simply high priced because of their rarity. They are actually high priced because they also have utility, how malleable they are, what are the properties which are used in wherever. So don't rely on just scarcity to be valuable, because that mindset is this mindset. When you are in the early adoption phase, or where the technology hype this at this point, when the demand is low at this point, all these points are one and the same. At this point, sky, because you are rare, you have a huge demand. This time forward, your skills are judged not by the scarcity but by their utility to whoever is giving you the job. So if you are getting hired in a certain company, if your skill is very useful to them, and how it will be useful to them, if you can solve a problem a company is trying facing. That's it, right? Your skills should solve a problem a company is facing. And I just want to conclude by talking about one thing. You see, there is a quote says, good artists copy and great artists steal. Okay, so this is about a quote on artist. Similarly, good financial analysts, so FA, I will just write a short form. Good financial analysts look at the market to decide what to do. And great financial analysts, they don't look at the market, they look at the people who are looking at the market. And in many movies, there is a quote which some lawyers say, play the man. Play the man means you are actually looking at the person who is playing. So great financial analysts, they look at the people looking at the market, and they think about how mass psychology is gonna work, and they then make decisions. So it doesn't. So good financial analysts make money when market goes up, and they lose money when market goes down. But great people, they make money no matter what happens, because they make their decisions according to how decisions is gonna be taken by majority of people. Be like that. Consider all these factors until now. Look at all the students who are learning data science now. Think about all the misconceptions they are gonna have. And when you have all that thing in your mind, and you have a accurate representation of reality, then you will be amongst a great data scientist, not in terms of skill, but because you are looking at the market, you are looking at the people looking at the market, and accordingly you are adapting. Adapting is an incredible thing to do, because this will help you break, not just break into the career, but have a great career.